What's up, guys? My name's Kovo. I'm here for another one of our PCS5 player interviews, and this time I'll let my guest introduce himself.
What's up, guys? I'm Snakers. I'm from Oath, and we're playing in PCS5 currently.
So I have to start this one with a bit of a look back. I went on the Wikipedia, I looked at your last few tournaments, and you have been scary consistent. I looked at the last 8 national tournaments, and your average placement is 2. So I generally ask teams that come here, like, where do they place themselves? I'm going to phrase it a bit differently this time. Is it time for, like, the Oath supremacy? Are you the best team in America? Or what do you think? Where do you place yourself?
I would say, like, without a doubt, we're second best, just because Sonics have been, like, way too good. Like, if we say that we're better than them, it almost, like, doesn't make sense. But as you said, our average placement is, like, actually insane. So I think that kind of secures us as, like, second best for sure.
Makes sense. I think that's what most people would say. That's like the top 2, and then you can start arguing who's in top 3, who's to follow. Speaking about sort of being the second best, you guys didn't have the best time at PGIS. You made a roster change. Now you seem amazing. Is Kickstart sort of what you needed, or was there other changes in the team? Have you guys developed? How do you think you got so good?
I think one of our weaknesses has always been, I guess, well, because Rello was never an IGL, so he always, like, struggled with, like, committing to a call, and if he didn't make a good call, then, like, no one else would. And now, like, I feel like Kickstart has came in and he's, like, revamped our playstyle to be, like, better than it's ever been, because he helps Rello with like calling, and he's also just comms are really good, and he still kills a lot of people, so he's, like, almost exactly what we could have possibly needed. So I kind of think we were always, like, pretty good anyway, but with him on our team, it just, like, made us, like, way better. So I think we've, like, a good shot at PGC now.
Speaking about sort of improvements to the team, like many others, you guys have a coach. You've got Trevor. How does he help you guys? How does he make you guys perform?
Well, I think coaches in PUBG are definitely, like, very useful with, like, analytical things for sure, but also PUBG is also, like, a very, like, emotion intensive game. Like, if you're feeling nervous, you're just not going to play well, because confidence is, like, really important. So especially on, like, LAN environments, Trevor would kind of like after we would, like, throw a game, he'd be like, guys, like, just go to the next one. This game doesn't matter. And he'd, like, really help us, like, focus on just not looking at the past and just always, like, having good chemistry and, like, not, like, hating each other after a game. Just keep moving forward, because we all want to win. So he kind of helps with that.
It is, of course, super essential to get your wins, but you will get into end games where you just can't win anymore. What do you do in those situations? How do you get the most out of those games?
So normally in games, like, we'll always try to win no matter what, and then there will always be a point in the game where it's like all 4 of us all agree at the same exact time. I can't explain it, but we just always just know that we're like, okay, play for kills, and then we just, like, do whatever we can to get kills, obviously. Like, turret here, turret there, throw util, push something you would never normally push because you know you might die, and just go for kills. That's pretty much it. Yeah. Like, everyone just knows when that point in the game comes, because you see you don't have circle, you're gonna die. Try to make the most of the game. Last
week of PCS has been a pretty good example of how important utility is right now. There was an insane amount of nade kills. There was an insane amount of pushes that just worked because of all, like, awesome grenade throws and stuff. You guys had a chicken dinner against Synergy where you just threw, like, 16 flashbangs at a guy and he just died. And it was just like, there's nothing he can do. Does util need a nerf? How would you go about it if you were to decide?
Like, there's a chance they can lower, like, the space. I think the actual utility is, like, really balanced right now in terms of, like, how effective it actually is if you just ignore, like, how many are thrown.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, that game against Synergy, I just happened to have a bunch of stuns, but it's also because I looted, like, 3 or 4 bodies at the end. And I was like, of course I'm going to throw every stun I have because he can't do anything. And eventually I just, like, killed him for free. I will say, I think utility usage is, like, one of those things in PUBG that, like, is, like, very underrated. People don't realize, like, good teams are, like, also the best at, like, using utility. We also had a win against SSG and Sonics, like, north of Picado area, next to, like, the rocks, where, like, our smokes were, like, so perfect, and we saved them. We saved, like, the perfect amount where we didn't lose 1 or 2 on a cross, which ended up making us win the game. Yeah. Like, just things like that, like, not making some tiny mistake in, like, the gaps. Like, it just all goes together to, like, win you games, essentially.
It's the combination as well of saving them for the right moment, but then also using them before you die, and not just going like, oh, I can do with 1 smoke here and just dying because of it, right? Like, it's
exactly.
Tough. It's tough to do it perfectly. It's funny that you say that as well with picking up util. You are the player who has picked up the most nades from dead bodies. I was scrolling through the stats earlier, and there's, like, this massive stat sheet, and I was like, I gotta find one that Snakers is topping, and, like, the first one I saw was nades picked up from dead bodies or something.
Yeah, definitely. No, like, anytime I see a dead body, if we're in late game, I'm like, nades are so important. And that's another thing. If you save nades, like, later on in games, obviously in Circle 9, when there's so many people on top of each other, if you have a nade or like 3 nades, let's say, you're gonna get a knock like for sure,
That's
and that's
huge,
just
yeah.
like almost guarantees your team to win. So yeah,
Yeah.
of course, like late game, I'll be like, oh, there's a dead body here, loot this, throw it, loot more, throw more, like.
One more question that I had to ask. It's a bit of a personal one. So playing in such a good team, how does it feel to just get carried by Kickstart every single round? I'm joking, of course. You told me to say that.
It feels pretty good. Hey, I tweeted that, okay? I already admitted to it. Well, no. I mean, obviously he doesn't like single-handedly carry us, but like,
No.
yeah, I definitely think he has like such an influence on our team that it just makes it like easier for everyone else to play. So I feel like he's one of those people that in like our situation, he made everyone better, just helped us with things that we were bad at, but also made it easier for us to do things that we're good at, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. He just put you in the right direction, basically.
Yeah.
Cool. That's good to hear. I'm excited to see what you guys can pull off in week 3. I'm excited to see. I mean, you're obviously already going to PGC, so that's going to be big, but PCS is still all to play for. So best of luck in the last week. Do you have any shout outs? Anyone you want to say thank you to or greet?
Definitely shout out all the fans that always watch and are in chat, hoping that we win, supporting us. Shout out Oath, our coach, and all my teammates, honestly. I feel like people usually don't shout out their teammates, but I think that's an important thing to do.
Cool. That's going to be it from us. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and good luck in the rest of PCS.
Thank you.